is Sarah, and I'm a registered dietitian. I'm also the food security coordinator here at URSU, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about healthy eating and try to break down some of the misinformation around there and simplify it, because it really doesn't have to be too complicated. So before we dive into all the nutrition information, I wanted to give a little bit of background just about myself. So this is me. I have a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition from the University of Saskatchewan. I also completed a dietetic practicum with the Saskatchewan Health Authority. I am a registered dietitian. I'm also the URSU food security coordinator, like I said. And I like to view things in a very weight neutral, inclusive way. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's dive into things. So this is the agenda of what I'd like to cover in this short little video here. Why healthy eating is important, how to build balanced meals, what the 3 S's are, nutrition labels, and how you eat matters. So to start off, why is healthy eating important? Why do we actually care about that? So bodies are really complex things, and they need a lot of different nutrients in order to function well. So if we're not getting those, you may feel tired, just might not be doing too well. Long-term, poor diets can actually lead to the development of different chronic diseases like heart disease, strokes, different types of cancers. So it really does matter in the long run how you eat. So going back to nutrients, we have micronutrients, macronutrients, and phytochemicals. So macronutrients you might be familiar with, some people call them macros. These are the things that we eat in a large quantity and the things that we need in a large quantity, so like protein, carbs, and fat. Micronutrients are the things that you need in smaller amounts. So these are more your vitamins and minerals like vitamin C, vitamin D, iron, zinc, calcium, those types of things. And then phytochemicals, these are those different sort of beneficial plant compounds that you find in all sorts of different foods. And this is also why eating colorful foods is important, is because they have higher concentrations of different phytochemicals that benefit you in all sorts of different ways. So if you eat a sort of general healthy diet, whatever that looks like for you, because it is an individual thing, I hope you have more energy. You'll also promote healthier digestion. We need to eat well for our tissues to be healthy too, because we are made of what we eat, essentially. With healthy eating, you'll likely have better immune function unless there's something else going on there, like an autoimmune disorder. And eating generally healthy, we are promoting lifelong healthy habits. So to start off, what does a balanced meal look like? What does that even mean? And I think Canada's Food Guide from 2019 actually does a really good job of this. So what we see here is this plate model, and it's sort of broken up into fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and then whole grains. So all of your meals do not have to look like this. This is sort of just a guide to you. So in general, we want to have more fruits and vegetables. We want to focus on whole grains for our sources of starch and fiber. And then we also want to consume more lean proteins as opposed to like fattier sources of protein or more processed pieces of protein. So those are all fine and dandy. And in here you see there's like tofu and lentils and beans, fish, eggs, poultry. Really, there's lots of options here. So the key takeaway from Canada's Food Guide, I would say, is just to focus on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. And most of these are whole food options. So they're not often found in packages. If they are, like a canned or a frozen item, that's okay too. Those are perfectly good options, and they'll definitely help you meet your goals. So this is also a very relevant topic, because looking at Canada's Food Guide, it's very colorful, has lots of different things on there, and it might seem expensive. Now, I'm here to tell you that healthy eating does not have to be expensive. There are a lot of different ways that you can get in different fruits and vegetables, proteins, whole grains, without breaking the bank. So this is sort of my list of budget-friendly tips. So shop around and try to find the best deal on fruits and veggies. Again, also look at frozen and canned fruits and veggies, as these are also, you can find some good deals, and they're often a little easier to prepare. A lot of that washing, chopping, portioning is kind of done for you already. So it can also be time saving, which is important as a student. Another thing that you can do is shop in season and freeze the excess for later. So kind of end of the summer, we saw blueberries were crazy cheap and in really big containers. So what I did is I washed them. You can put them out on a freezer sheet, like a baking tray. Pop in the freezer. When they're frozen, you can put them in a package and use them later for smoothies, muffins, really anything you want. Another way that you can save money is to shop in bulk. So quite often, big packages of things, you actually get a better price per item than buying those individual items. So see if you can split those purchases with a friend or a family member if you don't have space for all of them, but it definitely can be helpful to do that. Also, Bulk Barn actually has student discounts on Wednesdays, so if you go and you show your student ID, they will give you 15% off. So definitely check it out for all of your kind of dry food needs. They also have peanut butter and cookies and snacks and all sorts of good things. Some other budget-friendly things that you can do is to shop your kitchen first when you're making a grocery list. So I'm probably not the only one who's gone grocery shopping. You pick out what you think you need, you get home and you realize, oh, I already had this in my fridge, and now it's probably going to go bad. If you shop your kitchen first, you hopefully avoid buying stuff that you already have, and you help minimize food waste too by not having things go bad because you don't know that they're there. We also have the Reach Good Food Box available through URSU, so we are a kind of pickup depot for them. So you can come to URSU and you can purchase a good food box. So this is sort of an affordable produce box, and it is cheaper than buying all of your produce in a store, in a grocery store, like a for-profit grocery store. And then you get to come and pick up your box, and a lot of them are customizable too. There's different add-ons that you can do, so I would definitely check that out. One of my last budget-friendly tips is to try apps like Flash Food, Flip, and Too Good To Go. So these are different apps that either help you save money on groceries or help reduce food waste by kind of diverting it to consumers. So definitely check them out. They're all free to download, I believe, so they can definitely help you save some money. Another reminder here is that while sure there's all sorts of guidelines and best practices for healthy eating, all foods absolutely can fit within a healthy diet. It's not healthy to restrict things, and it can often lead to binging and stress eating and doesn't really promote a good relationship with food. So all foods absolutely can fit in the context of a healthy diet. They'll also help you feel a little bit more satisfied too. If you're really craving that chocolate chip cookie, don't go eating all the healthy stuff in your kitchen first before you get to that cookie. Just have the cookie, enjoy it, and move on. There's also some strategies that can help you include your favorite foods in a more balanced way. So this is sort of focusing on a what can I add to my plate mindset. So as tasty as all these different fun foods are, chocolate, ice cream, cookies, if you only eat them for, your snack, your whatever, they might not make you feel the best later. So using a what can you add mindset, you can add a little bit more nutrition and you still get those foods that you're really craving. Yeah, so let's move on to some examples. Now these are not all inclusive, these are just some ideas, some things that I like to do. So here, maybe you really love noodles. Instead of just having plain noodles that probably won't last with you very long, we'll be try adding a little bit of protein and fat from an egg and some fiber and color from some carrots. Same thing, crackers, maybe pair it with some cheese and veggies. Cereal and milk, classic combo, but what can we add to it? I really think that berries actually go quite well in cereal, or sliced up banana is one of my favorites too. Over here we have ice cream and a banana split, and a banana, which reminds me of a banana split. It's a great combo. Cookies, yogurt, you could also do a glass of milk, kind of same thing. And then chips, maybe pair it with something, fruits and veggies. If you want, it can help you stay a little bit more full. You have that extra fiber, a little extra color, and it's a little bit more balanced of a snack. So another kind of concept of healthy eating is just being aware of what I like to call the 3 S's. So this is salt or sodium, sugar, but we're focusing on added sugar, and saturated fat. So I absolutely don't want you to completely steer clear of all of these things and avoid them completely. That's not going to promote a good relationship with food. Instead, I want you just to be aware of these things, know how to look for them in different foods, and maybe choose different options depending on what else you had to eat in a day, what your goals are. Because overconsumption of these things can be a little bit more harmful to your health. So again, focusing on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, you're naturally going to have less of these things. But again, all foods fit. This is not an all the time have to do thing. You are not a failure for eating these things. It is very normal. Just something to be a little bit aware of. So how can you be aware of these things? A very good option is by reading nutrition labels. So if you're not familiar, this is a nutrition label, and you'll find it on pretty much every packaged food. You're not going to find it on like fruits and vegetables unless it comes in a package. And it kind of breaks things down. So up here we have sort of a sample serving size. This is not a suggested serving per se, but it helps you sort of decipher, like compare brands, compare products. They'll often have similar serving sizes. That's just their best estimate. Not really a suggestion. You eat however much you want. So in a certain amount of this item, there is 110 calories. So this is the energy that we get from that food. Then it's broken down by fat, carbohydrate, protein, cholesterol, which is technically like in the fat category, sodium, and then we have some other micronutrients here. So we already touched on serving size. Saturated fat, this is one of the 3 S's that I said just to be aware of. So we do want to be mindful of saturated fat and try not to overconsume these things. So saturated fat, you're going to find more of it in like higher fat animal products. So high fat dairy, fattier meats, especially like red meat, pork, those kinds of things will have more saturated fat. Fiber is another key consideration, but not something to be mindful of, so you can kind of moderate how much you have of it. But most people in North America actually don't get enough fiber, so this is something that the more fiber, generally the better. Generally, not for everybody, but generally speaking. So fiber fits under the carbohydrates, and we get it from whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. You will not find fiber in animal products. Protein. This is a pretty hot topic. Just so you know, most people eating a pretty standard diet get enough protein. Sort of the recommended amount is between 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of your body weight. So sure, be mindful of protein, but you're probably getting enough of it. I would assume most people are, unless you're an athlete or you have a very specific concern, but that can be handled by your medical team. Cholesterol, another thing. So contrary to fiber, whereas fiber is only found in plant foods, cholesterol is actually only found in animal foods. And by choosing products with less saturated fat, you'll probably also be minimizing the amount of cholesterol that you're eating too. They kind of come a little bit as a package deal. And then the last thing here that I want to bring your attention to is sodium, also known as salt. So just something to be mindful of. Where is sodium here? Right here. This product has 0. For micronutrients, labels have to have potassium, calcium, and iron on them. And kind of how you can think about these things, it's stated right here, is 5% or less is a little, and 15% or more is a lot. So this product has a lot of sugar. It has like a moderate amount of potassium, not very much calcium. So just keep that in mind, depending on what your goals are. Another thing I want to talk to you about is that how you eat matters. So as a busy student, taking time to eat might always be a priority for you. However, it is important and it does promote a better relationship with food if you actually take time to eat. So eating alone, in a hurry, or with distractions, again, just doesn't really promote a good relationship with food. So instead, when you can, please try to sit down with others, take time to eat, maybe minimize distractions, and just be present with your meal and enjoy it. That brings us to the end of my presentation today. So if you have any questions at all or want to talk about anything, please reach out. My email is food@ursu.ca, and I would love to connect.